All right, so applications of these things. I'm going to talk about batteries, right? That is really the main use of keep saying electrolytic, of voltaic and galvanic cells. Dry cell batteries are the regular batteries that we use to power lots and lots of things. They're about 1.5 volts, and you can connect them in series to get a higher voltage. So I think, and I might be wrong about this, but like really big batteries are really just a bunch of little batteries connected in series. And sometimes if you break them apart, you can actually see that. But essentially what a dry cell battery is it looks like this. I've got a zinc anode. I've got a separator, right? Because you have to separate the reduction and the oxidation in order to harness the electron energy. So, and then you have like a paste of zinc chloride and ammonium chloride, because, right, we also have to have our solutions. And then I got manganese oxide graphite. So essentially what's happening is this reaction, yes, it is a more complicated reaction than just a single metal and a solution kind of transferring, but that's essentially what's going on in there. I'm harnessing the energy produced from the transfer of electrons in a spontaneous reaction. Okay, same thing in a lead acid storage battery. This is like what's in your car, right? You can recharge this by essentially applying voltage, and it will kind of run it backwards and reset everything so that you can use it again and again and again and have multiple spontaneous reactions. Okay, so I was talking about this battery, and essentially you can run it backwards to recharge it, and that's how your car keeps recharging. Eventually it will stop recharging because you get some lead sulfate that builds up on those electrodes, and then there's just nothing that you can do. But we can, like I said, apply voltage and run it backwards. That's called an electrolytic cell, which we are going to talk about very soon. Okay. Other applications of this redox stuff besides batteries, of course. Well, iron rusts. We know that, right? And it can cause lots of problems, like in your car. Now, it causes even more problems if you have iron pipes. Okay. Right. You know, if it gets wet and you have oxygen, it'll react. And that's essentially a redox reaction going on. So it oxidizes, it forms rust, not good. So what we have been doing, and this actually works really well, is we use a more reactive metal, or one that has like a higher potential. So it oxidizes, or higher oxidation potential. Yeah. So it oxidizes instead of the iron. So like when the water gets there, something else will oxidize. So a more reactive metal, or one that essentially is going to like take the place of it. So we call it a sacrificial anode. So what we do is, if you have a lead pipe, we'll use magnesium or zinc or something that's more reactive than iron. Sorry, I keep saying lead. Lead pipes that's more reactive than iron. And then the electrons will flow in the other direction, or make iron actually the cathode instead, so that the magnesium will essentially decompose instead of the iron, and then the iron is fine. Okay. We also do this in water softeners. We usually use like a zinc one in there, but essentially it's a sacrificial anode, so it acts as the anode instead of the other stuff, like the coating in your water softeners, essentially. So that makes it so that we're kind of saving those. So we use essentially spontaneous reactions to make sure that we don't have the ones that we don't want.